This is the Fed 4 35mm rangefinder camera. It was produced in the old Soviet Union, and it was produced between the years of 1964 and 1980. On some Soviet cameras you could tell the year of manufacture by the digits on the serial number. If that's the case here, and I'm not sure that it is, that would place this camera at about 1972. Okay, the camera specifications. It has a removable lens. It is the 52mm f2.8 39mm Industar lens, which takes slip-on filters, not screwing ones. The aperture range is 2.8 to 16, and the scale for this is on the lens barrel. The focusing range for this particular lens is about 1.2 meters to infinity. The focusing is a matching yellow rangefinder coupled with the lens, which is shown in the viewfinder, and the lens release is a simple screw counterclockwise lens release, which has a has a cable release in it. Shutter speeds are 1 second to 1/500th of seconds plus B, and the cocking lever also advances the film. It's short stroke, it's retractable, which means you can wind it on in little bits if you wish. The exposure is calculated by an uncoupled selenium barrier cell meter, and the ASA range is quite limited, going from 20 to 302. He says, taking his glasses off to have a better look. Okay, a little walk around the camera. This window here is the sensor for the exposure meter, and this window is part of the coupled rangefinder, and here we have the rangefinder. We have a flash sync socket here for electronic flash, and of course there is no hot shoe on this camera. This is the self timer, which is triggered by this button here. As the self timer is basically clockwork, you'll notice that it releases the camera shutter before it ends its travel. Screw-in mount, as I've said before, so it's a 39mm Leica mount. Bottom of the camera, you can see that the camera has two release catches because this doesn't have a lever or a hinge on the back. The whole of the back of the camera is removed, which we'll do in a moment. Top of the camera, on this side we have our ASA setting and the uncoupled meter. The shutter speeds are set here. The frame counter is here, along with the do nothing film reminder dial, so popular. We have the cable release in the middle of the shutter here, and this knurled ring here is a clutch release to enable the film to be rewound. When this is depressed, you can rewind the film using this wheel here, and the film is advanced with this lever on the right hand side of the camera. It's really important though to actually remember that you have to advance the film before you change the shutter speed, because if you don't do that, the shutter speed is now in the wrong position. It only goes back to the right position when I advance the shutter. Okay, to take the back off, these two clips go vertical and you turn them 90 degrees. And if you've done it right, that will allow you to remove the back. For me, I never get it right first time. It's always a bit of a wobble. Although eventually it comes off. So we have a normal pressure plate inside the back cover to actually press the film into place. And here we have the fairly ubiquitous cloth blind shutter, which was popular in so many cameras of its era, particularly the ones from the Soviet Union. To load the film up, and I have a film here, we put the film in this end, we stretch it across, and it has to be fed into one of this little plate here, which is really quite awkward. When the camera has used up all the film, this plate here has got a locking mechanism on it, which will allow you to depress this clutch and release the film, and then you can rewind it. Yeah, it's not easy. Convenience wasn't really an issue for this camera. Right, let's see if I can put it back more easily than I took it off. Perhaps it's better. Once I've struggled to get the film inside the camera, the first thing I have to do is set the ASA. Everything is so stiff on this camera, possibly to do with its age. So I'm going to set my ASA dial around well, it's about 200 there. That dot lines up somewhere between 320 and 160. When I take the camera outside, then the selenium barrier cell needle will swing across, and then I match the red pointer to the meter, and let's, for argument's sake, say that this gives me a shutter speed of a 250 at f80. Make sure the film is wound on. I change the shutter speed to 150th, and on the lens barrel I change my aperture to f8. Hold the camera up at my eye. The coupled rangefinder will allow me to get a fairly accurate focusing distance, and then of course I can take the picture. It's actually more advanced than it looks though. This is a diopter adapter, so the first time I use the camera I can have this calibrated to my own eyesight. As I wear glasses, it'd be through that, and then I'm set to go. It comes with a leather case, and these were extremely popular. As I said, it was made between the 1960s and 1980, and it sold about 620,000 units. So an incredibly popular camera, tough as old boots, still works, and as so often, I think it would make a good addition to someone's collection. It's quite heavy though. I'm pretty sure if you threw this at a tank, the tank would come off worse. But that said, it is still quite a lovely machine.